The Chao and Sonic Adventure games are superfluously complex and more in-depth than it needed to be, and because of this, it makes the Sonic Adventure series incredibly endearing and addictive. Chao are digital pets that you can raise, and there are a huge variety of them. There are monotone color Chao, two-tone Chao, shiny Chao, jewel Chao, shiny jewel Chao, hero Chao, dark Chao, flying type Chao, polyshore Chao. Basically, there's a lot of Chao, and while some are rare or hard to get, there were rumors that circulated online circa early 2000 about special, obscure Chao that players could obtain. As a kid, I remember browsing Yahoo back when it was more relevant and perusing random, totally 90s websites that listed some of the rumored Chao and how to get them. One website even had pictures of these mythical Chao, albeit they were sketchy, even at the time. Years later, it would turn out that these fabled Chao were indeed fake. They were hoaxes, unfortunately, but they still managed to capture the imagination of bright-eyed Chao fans like me back in the day. Here are some of the fake Chao that were rumored to be true. Omochao. One popular Chao myth was that you could raise an Omochao, which is a robotic Chao that gives players game advice in Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. It can be found in levels, as well as Chao stages. Since Omochao is a Chao and is already in the game as an NPC, you can even race against it in a Chao race. Some believe that maybe, just maybe, you can unlock the robotic creature in the Chao Garden. It's unknown what the method was to obtain Omochao, but regardless, it is impossible to acquire through normal playthrough. You can, however, get it by using a cheat device like Action Replay, or you can use a mod like Chao World Extended, which allows you to build an Omochao with a box of parts in the Chao Garden. Egg Chao. Chao have the ability to mate and lay eggs. When a Chao is born, it'll hatch and come out of its egg. However, there was allegedly a way to raise a grown Chao that was still inside its egg. Lending credence to this belief was that in one of the Chao challenge races, you can race against Chao that are still in their egg form, but they have their legs sticking out. Their eyes can also be seen as two black dots on the outside of the egg shell. The requirement for obtaining an egg Chao is a mystery, and the only way to obtain either egg Chao is by hacking. Small animal Chao. There are a variety of small animals you can collect and race against in the Sonic Adventure games, like a cheetah, peacock, and unicorn. Each animal increases a specific stat of a Chao. A gorilla, for example, will increase the power stat, while a parrot improves flying. What's more, when a Chao absorbs an animal, its body parts will transform into the corresponding animal, so giving a Chao enough tigers will make the Chao have tiger arms and legs. Unfortunately, you can't fully transform a Chao into an animal, nor can you raise an animal as a Chao, as once rumored. You can, however, use fan-made editors, like Fusion's Chao editor, to unlock animals in the Chao Garden. Out of all the rumored Chao, this may be my favorite one, since ultimately, you wouldn't even be raising a Chao. Imagine being able to have a dragon, skeleton dog, or half fish as a pet without using any mods or cheats. Big/giant Chao. As the name suggests, big or giant Chao are oversized Chao that are twice the size of a regular Chao. To get one, you supposedly needed to mate two Chao that were neutral power types. This, of course, is baloney, as is Tiny Chao. This one's pretty amusing, yet eyebrow-raising, since getting a Tiny Chao purportedly required two baby Chao to mate. In order for this to happen, you first have to feed the Chao 5 heart fruit, which are egg fertility fruit that allows a Chao to breed. You also need to feed the Chao 12 smart fruit, which, as players would later learn, are impossible to obtain without hacking. The smart fruit is an unused asset in Sonic Adventure 2 Battle that would have increased the Chao's intelligence. One of the earliest reports of the Tiny Chao originates from a user named SuperKyle1991. Sometime around March 2002, just 1 month after the North American release of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, Nathan McNair and Donnie Douglas, who are the creators of a GameFAQs Chao guide, received a tip from Kyle about a way to get a Tiny Chao. Kyle is cited as the person that sent him the heart fruit, smart fruit method, which we now know is bogus. Liberty Chao. In the opening scene of a Chao challenge race, there's a Chao statue that can be seen that's a parody of the Statue of Liberty. It's nothing special, and not something one would normally pay attention to. However, there was a myth that you could raise a Chao that's based on the statue. This is one of the more outlandish myths, but here's the way you could supposedly get the so-called Liberty Chao. You need to have a white egg, and then raise the Chao with only hero or dark characters, which will determine if you get a hero Liberty Chao or dark Liberty Chao. You must then give your Chao only one type of chaos drive, and one type of imaginary animal, so either a dragon, unicorn, or phoenix. After that, your Chao needs to win a hero or dark metal. This will also help determine if it's a hero or dark Liberty Chao. Eventually, your Chao will evolve, at which point you must continue feeding it the same chaos drives and/or the same amount of drives from before. Do not feed it any animals. Over time, the Chao's head will progressively morph into a star shape, just like the statue. Then finally, at some point, the Chao will enter a pink cocoon and then emerge as a Liberty Chao. Not only that, if you have a TV in the Chao Garden, the Liberty Chao will be able to turn it on and watch a TV show featuring Big the Cat. This is one of the more elaborate guides for obtaining a mythical Chao, and the rumor about it may have started around March 2002. In the aforementioned GameFAQs Chao guide, someone named Dog Ruler is credited for discovering the Chao. Meanwhile, the rumor also apparently popped up on the now defunct GameWinners.com, which was a website that offered tips, tricks, and cheats for video games. A NeoSeeker user named Code Viper said that they read a guide about getting Liberty Chao on Game Winners and decided to email the original poster of the guide. According to Code Viper, the poster said that he didn't actually post the guide, but rather his brother did, who managed to log onto his account. Official Character Chao. It's possible to make Chao look like Sonic characters, but there are Chao that were officially and uniquely designed by the Sonic team that resemble Sonic characters. Specifically, there are Tails, Knuckles, and Amy Chao, but they were only available at Nintendo special events or in a specific 2003 Japanese GameCube software catalog that contained a Sonic Adventure DX demo. The demo allowed you to import a Knuckles, Amy, or Tails Chao into the Chao Garden. Additionally, Tails could also be unlocked in Phantasy Star Online. But this begs the question, if an official Tails, Knuckles, and Amy Chao exist, then what about other characters? There were murmurs about other official character Chao that existed, from Rouge, Espio, Dr. Robotnik, and Chaos Zero to the more obscure ones like Tikal, Emerald, Froggy, and Ray the Flying Squirrel. While none of these characters exist as official Chao, there is a picture of a supposed Emerald Chao. However, it's either photoshopped or just a player-created Chao that looks like Emerald the android. Curiously, however, a user named DL93, who created this Chao thread on ZeldaUniverse.net, claims that there is an action replay save file that contains an Emerald Chao, and they even uploaded the file, which can be downloaded. Any takers? Chameleon Chao and Rainbow Chao. There were reports of Chao changing colors when the camera rotated. It was dubbed the Chameleon Chao, and it may have been a glitch. According to the previously mentioned GameFAQs Chao guide, it was, quote, weird as far as coloration and color patterns go. In addition to the Chameleon Chao, there was also allegedly a Rainbow Chao. Some online boldly claimed it was real and that they got a hold of one, but users were all over the place in terms of how to unlock it. One person claimed you needed to keep feeding a Chao different colored chaos drives until it grew rainbow arms and wings, while another user, named Chao Dude, relayed that if you have more than 150 emblems and breed, quote, 2 beginning normal Chao, then there's a chance of the offspring becoming a Rainbow Chao. Then there was another user that exclaimed that you needed to mate an Aquamarine Chao with an Emerald Chao. Then the offspring has to mate with a starter normal Chao, but only the Aquamarine Chao and normal Chao can eat the heart fruit. But then, another user chimed in, saying that it doesn't matter who eats the heart fruit, and that only the mating order matters. There's even step-by-step directions on supercheats.com that basically says that you actually need to hatch a normal egg by throwing it against the wall, then raise the Chao with a dark character, and feed it nothing but red chaos drives and fruit from trees. Then the Chao will go inside its cocoon, and then emerge as a Rainbow Chao. Not only that, but the user who wrote the directions, SonicGuy1234, says that, quote, if you go to Chao Karate and go on Expert, you will see Rainbow in round 4. However, there is nothing to see here, since it's all made up. A99 Chao. In the Dreamcast version of Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, the maximum stat for a Chao is 999. Naturally, the higher the number, the more powerful a Chao is, but legend has it that a group of VMU hackers created something called an A99 Chao. This super Chao was 5 times faster than a normal Chao with 999 stat points. And the letter A may have been a modifier based on A Life, which was another name for Chao. It's unknown if A99 was actually created, but I shudder to think at just how fast it was in Chao races. Sun Chao. One of the rarest Chao that exists is the Moon Chao. It has a unique texture and was only available in the Dreamcast version of Sonic Adventure 2 via the online black market. Originally, the black market was an online in-game web browser where you could download rare Chao like the Moon Chao. However, the online store shut down a long time ago, and so the only way to get a Moon Chao now is by hacking. But if there's a Moon Chao that exists, what about a Sun Chao? Rumors circulated about a supposed Sun Chao that could be unlocked in the Tiny Chao Garden, which was available in the Game Boy Advance Sonic games like Sonic Advance. The rumor gained some traction since fandom wiki pages and GameFAQs guides even mentioned the Sun Chao as if it was real. There's one GameFAQs guide that, to this day, still erroneously lists the Sun Chao and how to get it. The guide said that it's, quote, super rare, and that there's a 0.01% chance of obtaining it. Basically, you have to buy every Chao egg, but not at the same time. Then you need to hatch them in either Sonic Adventure 2 Battle or in the Tiny Chao Garden. And then you have to bring all of the Chao in the Tiny Chao Garden, but not at the same time. Once all of this is done, you will unlock the Moon Chao, which costs 20,000 rings. And upon purchasing the Moon Chao, you will then unlock the Sun Chao, which also costs 20,000 rings. The GameFAQs guide also mentions that the Chao has a glowing yellow color. There are gold, yellow, shiny yellow, and bright Chao that exist, the latter being the result of a glitch, but there is no official Sun Chao in any of the Sonic games.